Okay, in today's video, we're talking about hiring professionals. Here we go. Hi, this is Tom Malloy. I've raised north of $25 million for financing movies. I've produced at the time of this video 16 films. I've written 30 plus screenplays, options sold or made into movies, 25 of those screenplays, and I've starred in a bunch of movies. So I'm an encyclopedia on filmmaking. All right, today we're talking about hiring professionals versus hiring amateurs, meaning there's a phrase out there that I've said many times, and unfortunately, the reason I know this phrase so well is because it's happened. And that phrase is, if you think it's expensive to hire a professional, try hiring an amateur. And I really mean that, because I'll give you an example that on one film we hired a relatively amateur sound person. I say relatively because he had been the assistant sound guy on a film before, and that could be just boom operator, who knows, but I didn't qualify him enough. And to get the professional person, it was like more than double, right? So we said, let's go with the amateur person and pay for that. And I'm laughing now because I'm thinking about, if we just paid the rate, if it was only like a 3-week shoot or something like that, and paid the rate of the professional, we wouldn't have had the problems. Ultimately, we had to do the sound over for almost the entire movie because he didn't have lav mics. He only had a boom, and we were shooting in some big open spaces, and there was a lot of echo and there was a lot of noise, so we had to do what's called ADR. And the ADR stands for automatic dialogue replacement or additional dialogue recording. There's debate on to what it actually stands for, but it doesn't really matter as much as ADR is going into studio afterwards and actually syncing up new sound in a studio contained environment with the lips. So if somehow this sound got all messed up that I'm doing right now, it'd be going back and recording at a mic to try to sync up with my lips. And it's not that easy to do, right? And especially it's a pain in the butt if you have to do it for multiple scenes with multiple actors and get them all in the studio. That could be a nightmare. But that's just one example of where we were trying to save money to hire this amateur. And again, it goes to that phrase, if you think it's expensive to hire a professional, try hiring an amateur, meaning then we had to make up all the time, and the money was exponentially more than we would have spent to pay the rate for the professional. So when you're thinking about movies, look, it's great to save money. And if you have a tight budget, all I can say is this. There's a video I did about hiring a crew for little to no money, like meaning if you're tight on funds. And the approach there is to approach every crew person and say, I know you're fantastic. This is all we have for it. I would love to pay you more. Can you do it for this price? And be okay with the result of that, because you're truly asking them for a favor. Look, if you have nothing going on, I would love you to be my sound person for this movie. This is all we got, and they could say no, and you have to understand that you can't be mad at them for that, because it's like you're just throwing it out there. Now, that's not a pitch if you actually have the money somewhere and you're just refusing to pay them because you're a cheapskate. That shouldn't be the case. That's never been the case for my movies that I do. It's like, if it's all we had, that's all we had, and maybe somebody will say, well, can you just go up to just this much? And there's a way that we could find the money something else, and something else has to suffer because of it. Well, that's a way that you have to make those decisions too. But again, it's always smart to hire those professionals. And when it comes to crew, you put a little gold star by the person where you say, this is somebody I'd love to hire in the future, because if they're good and they got a good rate, then they're invaluable to you. If you want more videos on filmmaking, check out the link below. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.